Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti binti Muhammad. In this video, I will talk about the introduction and the conclusion of this presentation. So, for the introduction, democracy can be defined as a system of government in which citizens are allowed to participate in the lawmaking process through a voting system during elections. There are many types of democracy. Among them are direct democracy system and representative democracy system. A direct democracy system is the direct participation of the people in the lawmaking process. It's allowing all laws to be practiced and determined by the people. While representative democracy system is the system where the people will elect a representative to represent them in political and legal affairs. The representative is responsible for voicing the voice of the people. Fun fact, Malaysia is one of the countries that practice this type of democracy. Democracy in modern era. So democracy has proven to be the most stable political form in social organization in the modern era. Implementing a democratic political system in the modern era is still useful and relevant. A lot of developed and multi-level countries are unable to build and maintain strong democracy. Is it maybe because of they do not follow the trend or the modernity of the world? So it is must to be in line with the modernity of the world. Maybe reforming the electoral process can become one of the point in deepening the democratic political system.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Siti binti JOHARI. So I will cover 4 factors of exercising democracy political system in the modern era. The first factor is maintaining justice, rule of law, and security. This is because to access for justice, because we know that justice is very important. So that every human being gets equal rights and is given a defense while in court. This is also very important to give justice through the constitution of law, which is supreme law, so that harmonious state and the people can get proper defense. And then justice of people to make a demonstration if there is something unpleasant to the people. Other than that, to maintain the justice is independent of the judiciary. Because the independence of the judiciary very important, as it facilitate the judiciary to interpret existing laws so as not to be misinterpreted. The importance of the constitution so that the government can carry out its duty properly based on the principle of law is upheld, so that we know that judiciary can also focus on doing the work and making decision in each case without other interference. Okay, other than that, to maintain justice, rule of law, and security is important to democracy in modern era to prevent of violence. So democracy is very important to strengthen the security system or with the presence of responsible bodies such as legislature, executive, judiciary, civil servant such as police officer, army, Pascal and other institutions to keep the security and sovereignty of country from being treated. And then it shows that democracy is the branch of power to find a solution in defending the sovereignty of the invaded state. And then the government that govern the country trying to show their ability to manage the problem, and how they need cooperation to modernize the criminal law can be encouraged using information from the latest technology to upgrade the law better so that the national harmony can be maintained. Lastly, democracy is important in modern era to maintain sovereignty and external recognition. Democracy is very important so that the sovereignty of country is maintained and get recognition from foreign countries, and it can strengthen external trust from other country. If the rule of law does not exist, it is quite difficult to get praise and recognition from a foreign country, because other country can see the weaknesses from our country. For example, the appointment of Dato Sri Dr. Mahathir as the chairman of a committee to review the Commonwealth Organisation in terms of its role and responsibility went through its 1990s and will come. And then the existence of sovereignty is very important to show the extent of the integrity of Malay nation, so that the position is protected from external threat, and this can give the country opportunity to make a decision and free from external sway or threats. And because every country is free to make any decision on its own axis.
One of the 19 states in Part 2 of the Federal Constitution is fundamental freedom. That is, freedom of speech is enshrined in every citizen only. Everyone has the right to speak freely, to express an opinion, and has the right to give an opinion by removing it from the mind. Freedom of opinion and the right to speak is a very important foundation in society and from the practice of democracy in our country. Malaysia clearly upholds the right to freedom of expression as enshrined in the Federal Constitution. This freedom does not mean allowing seditious view or argument to deliberately provoke chaos, in addition to insulting the institution of the king. As sensitive and civic citizens, we must know to distinguish between criticism and insults. Maturity and ethics should be paramount when presenting opinion and view. There are various ways, according to current technological development, for them to present their thought without shame and good, in the hope that it can change the political landscape of the country, which look chaos, and indirectly it aim to improve the living standard of the increasingly burdened people with various gender. Among the way they voice their opinion are social media, singing, conversation, and video recording, with high hope that the issues get attention and the government take action. The first one is social media. Social media platform is a platform that can cause people to freely submit their opinion without any restriction, and it can also cause confusion. It also aims to give the people the right to voice their opinion and views on various additional issues and political issues that are of interest to national development. For example, people who use the Facebook platform, FB, whose users are mostly older, they use the platform to voice their opinion and their dissatisfaction about politics in the country until it gets the attention of politicians. The second one is thought singing. The people who produce the song as a sign and a place to express their feeling and voice their dissatisfaction satisfaction with the relevant issue regarding politics in the country. The habit of using this method is among young people because it is that way they can express and voice opinion and do not stand out and are considered insulting or as excessive criticism. The last one is thoughts, conversation, and video recording. This is a way for each individual to express desires and voice opinion from their respective mind. For example, a man who videotaped himself making a speech and expressing his wishes about politics in this increasingly source can organize country further when our country is in endemic base. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Siti AMELDA, and I'm going to explain the third factor of exercising democracy in modern era, which is by letting young generation involve themselves in politics to secure a better future. Now let's start with explanation for point 1, which is fresh ideas needed from youth participation, especially in decision-making process. Okay, so we all know that youth people are very brave in speaking out what in their thoughts. So by that capabilities, they could intervene and urge elected officials to better address the concerns of the 21st century. Some of the problems in 21st century are rapidly changing labor market, technological breakthroughs, and accelerated climate change. Next, they also have the capabilities in raising issues that are more important to them, such as joblessness, affordable healthcare, and youth development. For instance, we used to have young leader which is Chad Sadiq. uh, we can see how he always try to speak up about youth problems in the parliament, so everyone can aware that even teenagers problems are very important for them to listen. Next, moving on to explanation for point 2, which is social media function. So, youth and social media are very inseparated, and they usually use social media to express their feelings. So, this is why by letting youth participation in democracy is very important. So, the young people can express their feelings. Um, so the problems that they are facing can be solved um, by the government. So many young people also can relate to the problems like unemployment among recent graduates, young people participating in political debates, and the voting age. By using the social media platform, they can spread about these problems to all youth around the world. So a lot of young people will be aware about the problems that the country are facing right now. So thanks to social media, um, a lot of problems nowadays are receiving concern from the parliament. So that is why youth participation are very important in democracy.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is IZZATI binti ANUAR. My matric number is 2020666952. In this video, I will talk about the factor of exercising a democracy political system in this modern era. The factor is to be able to elect and also replace the government through free and fair election. Elections are very important in governing the country for more progress and harmony. The democratic system provides an opportunity for the people to express the opinion or suggestion of the people. What is an election? Elections are a process that elect representatives to rule the government. In this election, there are two levels for conducting the election, namely the state level and the federal level. Countries that have used the democratic system as political give the people free rights in electing leader. Next, the vote made by the people for each political party representative who has voting will be counted openly, and the result of the voting will be recorded immediately. There are few examples of political party in Malaysia, such as Barisan Nasional (BN), Parti Islam Se-Malaysia PAS, Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR, Pertubuhan Kebangsaan Melayu Bersatu UMNO, Bersatu, and many more. Other aspect that need to be considered is who has managed election in Malaysia. The task of supervising the election is the Election Commission, SPR. SPR was established to provide facility to the people in voting. Each of SPR member is appointed by Yang di-Pertuan Agong after consultation with the Council of Malay Rulers. The Election Commission was established to ensure that election run fairly and free from the pressure of the governing party or the opposition who wanted to manipulate the vote. In connection with that, for the people who want to vote, the eligibility to requirement for people who want to vote are Malaysian citizen, aged 80 years and above, reasonable, and others. And lastly, there are three functions of the SPR for established. Firstly, to review the definition of parliamentary and state constituency which are not less than 8 years after the date of the election. The second function of the SPR is responsible for carrying out voter registration and voter register review. And the last one, the third function, is to conduct a small election if there is a vacancy in the representative.
So, the conclusion of this presentation, we can say democracy is an important ideology for countries that adopt the system. Democracy gives freedom to the people in making choices to elect leaders. It also gives freedom to the judiciary to carry out their responsibility. Finally, democracy is able to be a good system of national administration and able to adapt to the modernity of the world.